Hello YouTube, this is a casual ride of 7 or 8 of us riding at west of St Clair. Right now we're heading on a little warm-up loop down off of Greenbury Road, and you can see the Darkwater Valley cut up ahead. There were 7 or 8 of us, 8 at one time, on this ride. And I'm putting along trying to remember how to ride, because it's just the first part of the ride, and I'm usually very cold when I start out. So that's Mark. He is riding us, and he nearly ran over me when I slowed down for that hill. So now we are headed up Greenbury Road, which is shown on the county maps, up to the big drag line, the old drag line. It's a obvious waypoint, landmark. Well, it's not really a landmark, it's more of a machine mark. So I know how to get to the pond. We're going to just blast up Greenbury Road. And getting ready to point out there's a trail off to the left, which can take you to the ponds, but we're not going to go that way. But I like to give people some landmarks and alternate paths so they can get a feel for the land. Most of the people I'm riding with have not been here in this section of the Redding Anthracite.
I was going to go to one first, the far one. This is one way you can get there. You can go up there, and it takes you to the gravel company up at the top of that one. But I used to go down here to the parking lot and then hang a left.
I believe that was Tim, who we met in the parking lot. He is out riding around in preparation for a serious hare scrambles next weekend. So we've never met him. He just was riding along with us, at least for this first part. And that's Ed. He's ridden with us a couple of times. I secretly believe that Ed is a better rider than most of us, but he's willing to ride with us, so that's cool. You can see a couple of cars parked up ahead. They're from that's the general parking lot area for parking lot 2. It's a fairly substantial climb up, and it's a usual rocky trail. We call this pond 1 just because it's the first pond that we discovered up here. You can see many of the guys. And we're leaving pond 1 because we haven't really gotten warmed up, so there's no reason to take a big break. And we're going to head over to pond 2. So I'm leading now to let them get their basic geography down. We're going to go down and hang a right over this little land bridge. And another right, and another hill climb up a rocky trail. Sounds like I got the camera adjusted a little bit off. It's clanking into the helmet a little more than I'd like to see. Or rather, that I'd like to hear. Okay, now there's coming up to this T. We normally turn right.
This way, right? Is it really single or 1.5? It's single. Yeah, let's go.
I'm not quite sure why I agreed to this. I don't normally enjoy single track, mostly because I'm not very good at it. I managed to get my front wheel over the log, but not my back wheel. So I'll play around a little bit to get over it. And it stalled, and I put my foot down, so I fell over.
I feel that in the morning. I think I will.
The worst thing about dropping the bike like that is it makes me tired. You get all excited with your adrenaline going, and it really takes all your energy out. And riding the single track takes some energy. So I'm kind of operating on a negative energy balance right here, which means I have to go real slow. And from what I can tell, it's actually easier to go faster. But I'm just going to putt along. That's John W. on his new KTM. He's just started riding on the dirt again after 20 or 30 years of layoff. So right now he's a good match for my speed. So we're getting ready to head into the turn pond 1 area. Most of the guys have gone off and taken a more challenging trail. I'm taking the short and easy way in. Just give me a chance to recover some energy.
Yeah. Well, I rode with just regular goggles and no lenses, and I really like being able to see. It's
I got LASIK, and every day I love it.
yeah.
In years, like 3 years.
That's Graham on the red Honda. And Mark on the yellow Suzuki. This is another group of guys. And there goes Tim. He's going to go off and practice going faster than we're able to do, so. This creek is interesting. In the spring, it's, a foot thick deep or something. It's obviously way down because it's July. So we're going to head on down and actually head back to the west, back past where the cars are. But I'm going to take sort of a scenic route. So when we were driving up, I pointed out this trail, and now we're going to take it. It has a little bit of a descent incline. And we're going to go ahead and climb up across the way, up the hill that you see in the top of the screen. Other than being rocky, this is not particularly challenging. It was a gorgeous day. Beautiful, about high 70s, sunny, a few clouds in the sky. Really nice day for motorcycle riding. We're coming up to the top of that hill, and then going to cut along the main road. I guess this is probably going east-west. Yeah, I think so. We're heading mostly west. We're going to drive along this for a little while and then drop down into the valley. I've explored most of these trails, but can't remember which one is which. They kind of, it's not been a while, so I just picked one. It's going to go down. So I'm not too worried about where it's going to come out. We're aiming to come back to the main road, Greenbury Road, with the drag line there, and then we'll head west to the car. So there's our drag line landmark. It's a pretty healthy sized machine. Looks like it's just been sitting there rusting for quite a few years. This is the final stretch down to the cars, trucks, and trailers and stuff. And the gate is closed, so we get to climb over little dirt piles to get out to it. There's Graham on the red Honda again. So we're not going to stop at the car and eat any food or anything like that. We're just going to keep heading out to the west. And so we crossed Valley Road. Take the trail, and then it makes a tight 160-degree hairpin onto the main hallway, which is a very wide dirt road for hauling big coal trucks. So we'll blast down it. It's not real thrilling to ride on it. It's just a dirt road. Now Frank's going to take us up to an area of hill climbs. This is a pretty rocky trail. And the trees like to smack me in the head too. I carry a clipper with me to trim back the trees, but there were so many guys here I didn't want to delay the ride by stopping to hack off some tree limbs. And it's not clear if we're supposed to take this right fork or not, but we end up taking it, and it ends up going nowhere, so... So we're coming back down from the dead end and continuing on what would have been the left fork. Okay, so this is a coal flat with some roads and cuts This is a good place to play around on the bikes. So I'm going to follow Graham down the hill. Going down's pretty easy. So I'm going to explore where this little climb goes. And there's a road. There's some puddles that way, so I'm going to hang a left and see what it looks like. Which should take us back up to where I came in, where we rode down that first drop. I think that's Rick's riding on Graham's bike. This doesn't go very well. The rear wheel decided to pass the front wheel. Nothing was hurt, but I sure felt silly.
I don't know. Yeah. I was coming down the hill, and the rear wheel started passing the front. Oh!
So after a couple minutes for me to catch my breath, we're heading out. I think it's Rick that's telling us that there's an easy trail that's coming up. We're just going to go down here a bit and catch it. I have pretty much no idea where we are because I haven't looked at the GPS. It's in the bag on the back of the back fender of the bike, so I don't really have a feel for where we are. We've just sort of been following trails. But so far this looks like a good little trail. Most of the people are going around taking the bypass, but I decided to just go across the lake. KTM is pretty good at water, at least water up to the axles. It doesn't seem to phase it. A lot of puddles along this trail. So this bypass has its own two puddles of its own plus the tree limbs. So it's not at all clear that taking that bypass was better than just going across the creek puddle lake, whatever it's called. Graham's bike is not happy.
We're missing people. Okay.
So when Graham's bike gets wet, it doesn't want to run. So I suggested to him that he try wheeling across all the puddles rather than having the front wheel go down, but he didn't think that was a good idea. So here's another dead end. It's got a little bit of a view at the end, but since we don't really know where we're going, we take trails, and we're finding out that there's a lot of dead ends up here. Now this trail is a uphill, rocky, loose trail that goes on and on forever. So I've cut out most of the images, but they're asking me how I liked it, and I'm telling them I did not like it. So the trail continued like that, and then we stopped and went to the 901 pub for lunch. And here we are leaving the 901 pub. You can see where we were on the GPS track. So this is heading further west from Route 901. We figure we're only about 15 miles from the AOAA trail system when we were here. It's just up Route 901. So here's a single track that we're going to try. It's actually a pretty pleasant little track. It's not too tight. It's a little bit more than handlebar width. I've decided that, I know that I don't particularly enjoy single track, and I think it's because I'm pretty bad at it, and that's mostly because I don't do it very often. So we're going to have to find some less challenging single track to practice on. So here I'm bailing out of the single track and going out to the main road because I'm tired of diving through trees slowly. This trail is, an ATV trail. It's wide enough for four-wheel to come through it. And once I get past the log, it's a pretty straightforward, rocky, but, not terribly challenging. There's another single track. At times the dust was an issue. Most of the time I just drop back and let the dust settle out. There goes Mark passing me.
What's that?
We're pretty much heading due west.
Okay.
So we are not even remotely close to working our way back towards the car.
Oh, was that the plan?
I don't know what the plan was. I'm just letting somebody else in the group know that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's only 10 minutes to 3.
Yep.
So we can go west a little longer, but we need to start thinking about what.
Exactly. I don't want exactly. So, how about that?
It's not clear that anybody knows where we are or really where we're going, but we'll ride a little bit more before we worry about finding a way to turn east and get back to where the trucks and trailers are.
Wow.
Yeah, the other night you can see a waterfall comes off this end. Well, it's still down in the ocean.
There's a really cool view off to the left there. Now we're just heading back to the parking spot. I'm pretty beat. In fact, I'm very beat at this point. We've put about 25 miles on the bike so far, out of about 3 hours of riding. And that doesn't include the stops and the lunch break. Lunch took forever. So that's Graham and Mark. I'm not sure who the first rider is. But you can see that Mark went down. So let's find an instant replay of that. Super slow-mo. Looks like his front wheel just washed out. He wasn't going real fast. Now Graham is blocking the view, but you can see that Mark is down again, so we'll do another super instant replay. Mark dropped it in a mud puddle, so he's all covered with mud and slimy.
Now the old diagonal wet log trick.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, yeah, I don't know.
So we're just transiting back to the parking spot. It's John that I'm following. For such a beautiful day, it's surprising how few other riders we've seen out here. And there we are back at the trailers, the parking spot.